Hello students, welcome to this first session of the series on the play Loyalties written by John Galsworthy. Students, in this session we will have an introduction with John Galsworthy and the play Loyalties, which is prescribed for your syllabus. John Galsworthy is considered to be one of the very famous and eminent playwrights. His works covered the later years of the Victorian period and the opening years of the Edwardian period in English literature. Students, this great playwright was a novelist also, and he is on the basis of his writings, whether they are novels or whether they are plays, he is considered to be one of the most popular writers of the early 20th century. He was born on August 14, 1867 at Kingston Hill in Surrey, England, into an established wealthy family. He received his early education at Harrow School, and later on he got admission at New College, Oxford. And at Oxford he studied law, and later on he started his career as a barrister, and he was admitted to the bar in 1890, but he worked over there only for 8 years. 8 years later, when his first novel Jocelyn got published, he left law. He left his practice as a barrister, and he continued his career in writing. He published his first work known as From the Four Winds, which was a collection of short stories, and it was published in 1897. Students, another thing is to be kept in mind about the works of John Galsworthy, that he began writing under the pen name, and that pen name is John St. John, and he wrote with this pen name until 1904, and after the death of his father he wrote with his name, his original name, that is John Galsworthy. But his earlier works, which were written during 1897 to 1904, they were written under this pen name, John St. John. He was such a versatile genius, and he was loved and respected by his contemporaries, that he was elected as the first president of the PEN. Students, PEN is an international literary club which was established in 1921 by the famous English novelist Mrs. Dawson Scott, and her aim was to connect writers of the globe on one stage. So she began with this club, International Literary Club, that is known as PEN. Full form of PEN is P for poets and playwrights, E is for editors and essayists, and N for novelists. And Galsworthy was the first president of this London center of this club, and he was re-elected year after year to this very post, every time by unanimous vote till his death. That is the magic of his popularity in the literary circles of his times. He was offered a knighthood in 1918, but he declined the offer because he found that this is not meant for a writer, for a literary artist. He was appointed to the Order of Merit in 1929. This great writer was awarded with the prestigious Nobel Prize for Literature in 1932. Students, this great literary artist, the famous playwright, a novelist, died on 31st January 1933. Students, let's have a look at the famous works written by John Galsworthy. His very famous trilogy, a collection of 3 novels and 2 interludes, or we can say 2 stories, is known as the Fawcett Saga. And for this very collection, he was nominated for the prestigious Nobel Prize. Then next comes his famous first play, The Silver Box, which appeared in 1906. Students, John Galsworthy has 20 plays to his credit, and this Silver Box was the first play. Then later on, Strife appeared in 1909. Next one is Justice, which was written in 1910. Then The Skin Game. This was the commercial success. It was successfully and widely accepted in the contemporary theaters, and it would appear in 1920. And 2 years after The Skin Game, Loyalties was written, and this play is prescribed for your syllabus. And later on, another play, Escape, appeared in 1926. Students, one thing is very important to know, that almost all the plays were written by John Galsworthy with a zeal for the social reforms. So now let's have a brief discussion on John Galsworthy as a playwright. Students, John Galsworthy was a dramatist of considerable technical skill. All his works are very perfect theatrical masterpieces in terms of the dialogue, in terms of the character presentations, in terms of the setting. They are very perfect pieces of dramatic art. And as far as the theme or the content of his plays are concerned, being a humanitarian, he addressed social issues in his writings, as I have just told you. And John Galsworthy was very sensitive to his surroundings, and he reacted to whatever happened in his surroundings. For example, his play, which appeared in 1914, entitled The Mob, it expressed his reaction to the First World War. Then his reaction to the social discrimination, which was there in the form of anti-Jewish feeling in his contemporary society. It appeared in the play Loyalties. And if we talk about his other plays, in almost all the plays, he took up specific social grievances. For example, the double standard of justice as applied to the upper and lower classes. It was addressed in The Silver Box, which was written in 1906, his first play. Then later on, the confrontation of the capital and labor, that is handled or addressed in the play Strife. And his play Justice, which is very famous one, it portrayed the condition of the prisons in the contemporary England, and this very play led to a very important prison reform in the England of his times. And now let's have a brief introduction with the play Loyalties, which is prescribed for your syllabus. Students, as we have just discussed, that this play was written in 1922, and it was staged at St. Martin's Theatre in London for the first time, and it was so popularly accepted that it ran for over a year. And John Galsworthy was himself so satisfied with this work that he described this as the only play of mine which I was able to say that when I finished it, no manager will refuse this, unquote. That this very play was very widely accepted in the theaters of his time. So just because of the popularity of this play, it was made into a film directed by Basil Dean in 1933, and as a drama, this play is divided into 3 acts. As far as the theme of this play is concerned, It is centered on the theme of loyalty, as the title suggests, along with the racial discrimination. We will have a detailed discussion on the theme of this play in the coming sessions. So students, this is all in brief about this eminent playwright John Galsworthy and his play Loyalties. In the next session, we will have a detailed analysis about the theme and the characters of this play. Thank you.